Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wasn't elected to this place to make my constituents poorer or less safe. And I don't believe anyone here from any party came into politics to do that. But if we vote for this deal, we are doing just that. The evidence is now very clear. Leaving the European Union will make us poorer. Poorer as an economy, as a country and as a society. It puts people's livelihoods at risk and the future of our children at jeopardy. And I will be voting against this deal.
Hear, hear.
And for me, this is also deeply personal. I've studied in France and Spain. I've worked in Brussels and Madrid. I speak French and Spanish, and I call myself a citizen of both Wales and Europe. I'm proud of the European Union, bringing countries together in unity and in peace. And members may disagree with me, and that is their right, but whoever says that we must leave the EU because of a vote that was taken 2.5 years ago is mistaken. The splits and divisions that we see across society are not going away. Extremists are waiting to expose the differences we see in our politics today, and our actions and our words will scar Britain for decades to come. Now is the time for leadership, to be brave, to stand up for what's right, not blindly follow the path set out by previous governments and administrations. We were elected to do the right thing by our constituents, those hard-working families and people who depend on jobs that a stable and flourishing economy provides, who depend on well-run and efficient public services, high-performing schools, universities and hospitals. And being a full EU member keeps us safe from terrorism and safe from international crime. It keeps us in those crucial networks that our Prime Minister fought to keep us a part of when she was Home Secretary, and which she cannot now guarantee. And in this House, we've also heard a lot of nonsense, repetition and bluster. Many members opposite, using the issue for their own ends, such as the member for Wokingham. Ego-driven, nostalgic for a past empire, an imperial nation. A dangerous attitude from members ignorant of this nation's history. And Brexit has dominated everything here. That's because it is the single biggest issue facing us since the Second World War, and will have repercussions for many, many years to come. But we know other business, important business, is being sidelined because of this. This week and next week, we're seeing world leaders come together in Katowice in Poland to decide how to tackle climate change, the single biggest issue facing us in the world and our future place in the world. But you wouldn't know it here. This place is embroiled in an act of immense self-harm, Brexit. The UK should be leading the way in climate action, but instead it's tangled itself here in untruths and falsehoods about Brexit. And we've heard many of those untruths in the last 2 years. We've heard that getting a good deal would be the easiest thing ever. We heard that we hold all the cards in the negotiations. And we also heard that there would be £350 million a week for the NHS. And now we're hearing another lie. We should back the Prime Minister's blindfold, lose-lose deal, or we plummet off the cliff edge with a no-deal Brexit. We know that's a false choice. This blindfold Brexit deal is a fantasy. Major decisions are postponed, leaving us forever negotiating our future relationship with the EU. We also know that there's no Brexit deal that can meet all the promises that have been made. The real choice now is whether we go ahead with this blindfold fantasy or actually stick with the deal, the best deal that we already have as EU members. So there is still time to change the course of that, to do the right thing. Many people are coming up to me in my constituency of Cardiff North, asking me to put a stop to this madness. Many of those people actually voted Leave 2 years ago, and they're changing their minds. Businesses and people are frantic with worry. And the only reason we know that the Prime Minister does have a half-hearted support for this deal with businesses is that it gives a few years of transition for those businesses to plan their move out of this country.
Exactly.
And this is the very real risk with this so-called deal. It leaves absolutely everything unresolved. Indefinite uncertainty. This is not what people want. Democracy means that it is only the people that can sort this out. So that's why we must ask them. We must ask them with a people's vote on the final deal. Thank you.
Zach Goldsmith.
Mr. Speaker, it's often said, and it's been